the night belongs to Mr. Saquon Barkley. Once again, he wins and the Giants lose. And who we have to blame for that is a general manager who makes millions of dollars, who made the worst possible decision that any general manager has probably ever made when it came to a player that was so important to what the team was trying to achieve. And you took it's like having, I will compare Saquon Barkley to a hand-built Blackwing Cadillac motor. But the suspension's not done, exhaust is a problem, there's a tuning problem, and we just haven't been able to get this Cadillac Blackwing on the road. So in the off season, rather than give yourself all the tools you need to fix the caddy so you can get her on the road and have this 700 horsepower beast on the road, you take the monies that we need for all different parts, i.e. not giving Daniel Jones $160 million, saving that money, keeping your main thing, which is the motor, to drive the whole thing, and that would be Saquon, and then getting all the other parts you need so that you can get the Cadillac on the road. What you did is you went, gave too much money into one area, so now it has a beautiful paint job, but it can't do anything. It can't go anywhere. Transmission's not working properly. Then you turn around and you get some of those parts to make it work properly, but then you take the motor out and trash the motor. So now we got a Cadillac that we can't tune because we don't have the motor. And the motor for the New York Football Giants for the last 6 years was Saquon Barkley. I'm very, very happy for him. I.e., that's why I got the Saquon jersey on. I always will rock the jersey. I always will rock with Saquon. You know, I haven't, since Randall Cunningham, cheered for the Eagles the way I cheer for the Eagles right now as a Giants fan. That you have a leadership in Howie Roseman and the ownership, Mr. Lurie, with the coaching, even though Nick seems to come off as a bit of a prick sometimes, the guy is coaching his ass off. I got a good offensive and defensive coordinator over there, and they're firing on all cylinders. And now this team is 9-2. You would have to say, pound for pound, the only team that compares in the NFC is Detroit. You could pretty much be guaranteed that they're going to the top. And there's very, very likely that the key critical plays coming up in the playoff games they'll be in will be settled and decided by something that Saquon does to get them to the next game. And John Mara, I know you're not sleeping good. You said it in Hard Knocks. You would have trouble sleeping if he went over to Philadelphia and did well. And both things have happened while we look more and more like dog shit every time we get on the field. I don't know what the rest of the schedule for the Giants is. It really doesn't matter. What everybody would want you to do is to try to make sure that we get Cam Ward. You know, especially if we got to be stuck with these two clowns that make all these bad decisions. You really need to reevaluate the offensive play calling going in. Certainly want to see some new tight ends, because apparently you have some problem with Daniel Bellinger. He's never on the frickin' field, and if he is, he's out there only to block. You look at what happened in today's game, and you see a team, as I said earlier when I did a little short thing at halftime. Boy, tight end over here, tight end over there, tight end right here going to crossing line on a go route. When you get the tight ends involved, the D-backs have to respond. And you're talking about people that are on average at best 6'1", 6'2", maybe 200 pounds, going up against a guy who's 6'5", and a lot of times 250, 260, 270, and weight with good hands. Turn around, boom, catch the ball. DB's hanging on you, maybe you push him down to the ground, and you run and you get yourself a first down. Boom, great. Let's work on the hurry up offense for Tommy. He's going to need all the help that he can get. And when you finally moved him out of the pocket in a I think it was a third down situation. It seemed like the kid stayed perpetually in long third down situations. You threw to Theo Johnson and you got yourself a pass in there. Why you would get cute and go and line up Tommy DeVito out there as a wide receiver when this was like the best drive that you had and could have easily put 14 points up on the board and maybe change the course of the game, you're going to get cute with the bullshit. And then please get out some Tiki Barber videos for Tyrone Tracy now. Let's not wait forever. Make him watch the videos in which Tiki Barber holding the ball up high and tight. Ironically, it was Tiki that was calling the game today and talking about how he had to make a definitive change. And that when you're falling down, you got to get both hands on the ball. It's a very basic coaching correction and one that you could work on. I want to see Mike Kafka get reactivated as the offensive play caller. You know, there's no reason, you're not going anywhere. So let's give us our best chance to win because Daboll's play calling is as vanilla gets. And when you got to turn around and see now, instead of Jones, it is now DeVito standing there with one back behind him, and almost every configuration always looks the same. The two wideouts, the tight end zone, and one tight end generally, which is Theo Johnson. And if you do have Bellinger in there, like I say, he's blocking. You never let him chip and then catch the football. You know, I find that aspect of the Giants game pathetic and sad. And I think that a lot of people would have went into this feeling a lot better about the choice that you made to end the season for a guy that you're paying for the season, you know, is at least try to adjust your game plan to fit this guy's body size and what he does, you know. And again, you look across what was happening on the other side with Baker Mayfield, I doubt is taller than Tommy. Tommy's probably taller than him. But his ability to move that pocket and also have play calls where you got a back, you got a possession wide receiver, or you got the tight end rolling with him so that he has somebody to throw to when he gets a clear path. I don't see Daboll's making that happen in any of these games that I've watched so far. And again, I'm not calling a fucking a flea flicker on 3rd and 1. And you would have ran that football, got your first down, then you set it up with the same look, since you're so good at putting the same look, which is the one back in the back. You know, and again, you look at these other teams, you look what Philadelphia does. Yeah, they got Saquon back there. You know what I'm saying? Imagine Saquon and Tyrone Tracy together. My brother called me and said, imagine the two of them there. Imagine your play action capability with now having neighbors. And if you would ever break out of this tight cluster that you're in, you'd be throwing the ball to different people that normally don't get the ball. But I got to think that in practice, do you throw the ball and you only throw the ball to neighbors in practice as well? You know, with occasional one to Wan'Dale Robinson. We did not even see or hear Slay's name today. You know, meanwhile, Jalen Hyatt is just out there running down the field. We need to have an overall rebuilding of how people block down the field. But when you start making these plays where they're short yardage plays, then you can encapsulate how the wide receiver, tight end, or whoever is running down the field that doesn't have the ball to block people so you can make bigger plays. Philadelphia is very, very good at that. So my hat's off to Philadelphia. My hat's off especially to Saquon Barkley. He talked a little bit with the media and talked about how he felt like his soul was free for the first time. He was happy for the first time in a long time. Because when you were dealing with doldrum clowns that don't have any kind of inventive ability, it has to wear on you. And now the guy is literally leaping for joy backwards. And oh, by the way, that move and that whole thing that happened with him leaping backwards over the guy is now in Madden. It's an official move you can do in Madden with Saquon. So, the gifts keep coming for you, John Mara. You got to think about what we're going to do going forward. And if you were to get Cam Ward and get some draft picks, not have to give away the whole thing to get Cam Ward because you may not end up in the space you want to be. But right now, so far, so good. So now what's the deal? You're going to now reevaluate your situation and bring Drew Lock in. That's your only choice to do right now, or keep riding with Tommy DeVito. Either way, you look like dog shit. Either way, your game planning looks like dog shit. Joe Shane has absolutely lost the locker room, and Dave Bowles is on his way. So you, John Mara, owner of the New York Giants, wake up, smell the coffee, and send them all packing together at the end of the year. Get some fresh minds. Do your research with some of the best people out there right now. And one of them is Louis Riddick. Another one is Brian Flores. And there's a number of other guys out there. Take a good long look before you commit to this style of management. Because Joe Shane does not strike me as a guy that's a player's guy, that understands the plight of the player and is concerned about it. You also need to look into the fact that one of the reasons why Philadelphia has been so successful is the fact that they keep drafting from one of the major programs in Georgia. And we need to consider that we need to have a little bit of a brain drain to some of those programs. I would love to see the Giants get Cam Ward, but I would love to see Cam Ward not be tainted by this current group of individuals, these two individuals. That's not the answer for New York. It's not the answer for us moving forward. And we need a more long-term, robust plan to be able to win football games and justify the existence of MetLife Stadium. Because certainly across the hallway, the Jets are not doing it. So it's always traditionally been the Giants' house, and it will be since we do have the 4 Super Bowl trophies. We need to make a big time change. Cut the shit, cut the crap, 86 these guys, and let's move on with a whole new, from the bottom with everything. C'est la vie. Oh, by the way, Xavier McKinney had an interception today, and he's might end up getting Defensive Player of the Week. He's up to 7 or 8 interceptions. So again, the two captains, Joe Shane, that should be right on our team right now, along with other players that we needed, with or without Daniel Jones. But Daniel Jones has been franchise tagged 2 years in a row. Saquon gets signed. Xavier gets signed. You get the other needs that you need. And you don't get Drew Lock for $5 million a year to stand around. So Leonard Williams playing his butt off. There could have been a way for Leonard Williams to still be on this team. All those guys out there. We got giant guys all over the place playing well. I'm surprised they didn't get the ball to Sterling Shepard more since he's on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But anyway, they spread the ball all around. You go back and look at the stats from all the Giant games and how many times they threw to the tight end, how many times they did misdirection plays, how many times did they do draw plays, how many times did they do a screen, especially a tight end screen. Like, I think that's non-existent. But meanwhile, you look at all these successful programs, they're all doing it. Detroit in the NFC, Tampa in the NFC, Philly in the NFC, San Francisco in the NFC. Unbelievable. Even the Cardinals today, with their draft pick, that guy had more touches than both Kelsey and the guy with the 49ers. His name's right on the tip of my tongue. You know who I'm talking about. All these guys are getting success by utilizing the tight end. And the Giants, I give up for this year, on everything. But for next year, we need to be heavy in that. And I think the only way we're going to get to it is by getting Daboll's out of there and getting Shane out of there. And if for some strange and weird reason I got to make a choice between one or the other, Shane's gone. Give me Louis Riddick. Give me Louis Riddick all day. Give me Coach Belichick to be the new GM all day. But don't give me the same bullshit that I've gotten out of both of these guys in these last 3-4 years. We're right back where we started from. It's the same thing as Schumer. It's the same thing as McAdoo. It's the same thing as Judge. All crap. All right? Including Gettleman. Because, he basically stabbed a knife into the back of New York City, this Boston clown, by giving us Daniel Jones in the first fucking place. So there you go. Shout out to Kyle Pizzle. I watched your show today. I was laughing. Shout out to Vic DiBenedetto. If you ever seen him, he does a Giants Coaches Chalk Talk. Shout out to Dig. Shout out to Chat Sports. I don't think, I think it was Chat Sports that put up a thing on YouTube saying that Mara got some good news. I don't know what that could possibly be. The fact that Joe Shane has decided to actually resign along with Daboll's, that'd be the only good news he could have possibly got. Anyway, let's go New York Football Giants. We're going to keep the faith. It ain't going to happen this year, but hopefully next year we'll have something to finally build upon. We've been waiting for 11, 12 years now. Now I guess it's going to be 13. Let's go Giants.